Hello friends. So today we will learn about primitive data types in Python. Okay. So we will see what are primitive data types in Python, which includes integer, float, string, boolean and none types. There are 5 primitive data types in Python. Okay. So we will learn these things along with variables. So for understanding variables, we can define a variable. So variable is nothing but a memory block in our PC, okay, which consumes memory blocks when we run a script, okay. So we will see how we can define a variable and put these data types into our variable, okay. So defining a variable name can contain only alphanumerical characters, which includes A to Z, 0 to 9 and underscore. So we can also name a variable underscore only, and we can also use alphanumerical characters, but there is a limitation that we cannot use numerics in the first alphabet. Okay, so first alphabet of a variable should only contain alphabet. Okay, so variable names are case sensitive, so these three variable names are different. Okay, and the reserved keywords cannot be used in Python variable as a Python variable. Okay, so let's see it in action. So in my VS Code, I've opened that folder, okay, which I show you on the previous video, and I've made a script file here which is primitive data types.py, okay, and here I've made a variable which is name. Okay, you can make any variable, like you can type G H J, or you can type RTU. Okay, you can name it anything. Okay, and we will store its primitive data types into this variables. Okay, so let's say here is name, or let's say here is num, which is stands for number for our understanding. Okay, so what we will do, we will write num, and then we will type is equals to, and then we will keep data type. In our case, first we will use our integer. Okay, so here I will type a number which can be anything. Okay, so I type a number, and then I will use a Python function to see it. But first let's save it with Control S, and then we will run this script. Okay, so I will go to my PowerShell. Okay, I will do ls. So we can see we have two files in our directory, which is my script and primitive data type.py. Okay, so as I've already shown you in my previous video that we can do it by Python, and then we will press tab. So it is on our first script, then I will again press tab, or you can write directly its name from copying it and pasting it here. Okay, and when I will hit enter, then you can see the script has been run. Okay, and our script has been executed successfully. Okay, so what is doing here, but you have not seen any output here. So what is doing here, so when we run a script, so it will start running it from line 1. So line 1 there is nothing, line 2 there is nothing, and line 3 here our interpreter sees that we have a variable num, and we are assigning this number to our num. So it places the num variable into our memory, okay, and keep this number into the num. Okay, and after that there are line number 4, 5, 6, 7, there is nothing happening. So this script executed successfully. Okay, but what if we want to use this number? Okay, so we can use it in multiple ways. Okay, and we will see it on different projects, that how we will manage it and use it. But first we will use a print function. Print function will print it into console. So what I will do, I will print num. Okay, and I will do Control S to save it. So now what it will do, when we run our script, it will run line number 1, line number 2 and line number 3. Line number 3 will assign this number into the num variable, then line number 4 will do nothing, then line number 5 will print num. Okay, and when it will print num, So this variable contains this value. So remember, it will not print num into the terminal. This is a variable, okay? This is only a placeholder. The actual value is this one, which we have assigned to this num, okay? So when we will print num, it will print its value, okay? So we have saved this script. We will go back to our terminal. Now I will press the upper arrow key, okay? So when I will press upper arrow key, it will again go to my previous command, and then I will again hit enter. So now when I hit enter, it has printed the value of num, which is this number that we have assigned to num variable, okay? So this is the first data type in our Python script. This is integer. Now let's talk about float. So you have already read about it, that floats are the numbers with decimal places. So you can see examples 3.14, 2.5. Okay. So let's initialize two float numbers. Okay. So f1, you can name it anything. Okay. So f1 equals to 4.5.6 or 4.55. Okay. So we can only put one dot, okay? So it will be a float, okay? So f2 equals to 200.555 or 90, okay? Okay, then what we will do, we will print f1, and on the new line we will print f2, okay? So what is happening here? First, when we will run this script, it will go to line number 1, then line number 2, then line number 3. Same thing will happen again. It will assign this value into num variable. Then line number 4, in line number 5, it will assign this float value into f1, okay? And in line number 6, it will assign this value into line number into f2, sorry, f2 variable, okay? And in line number 8, it will print num. So num is already defined here, okay, which has this value, so it will print num. So the first thing we will see into our terminal is the value of num, okay, because it is printing here, okay? Here it is only assigning these values, okay? So there is nothing happening into the console, but it is happening on the memory of our system. And in line number 10, we are printing f1, which includes this value, okay? And in line number 11, it will print f2, which includes this value, okay? So I will save it with Control S, and then what I will do, I will again go to our terminal, and then again run this script, okay? So now you will see we have our num variables value, which is this one, then our f1 variables value, then our f2 variables value, okay? Now we have covered two things here, okay? Now it's time to talk about strings, okay? So strings are very simple things. Strings are just alphabets, okay? And it also contains numerics, but under quotations, okay? So we can define a string under a quotation, okay? So it's very simple thing, okay? For defining a string, what we will do, we will type two quotes. This is a double quote, okay? So I will write I am a student, okay? And then I will assign this string to a variable, okay? So this variable will contain this string, okay? And if I make a string again, age equals to, and I will again make a string, but this time I will use single quote, okay? So these two things are same. Either you can use double quotes or you can use a single quotes. Both of the things are called strings, okay? So here I can type my age is 27, okay? And now what I will do, again printing it, print, okay, and print IM, and then I will print age, okay. So these so now you can understand till here that what it will do, it will run all the way through line number 1 to line number 70, and it will only show the results of the print, because print will only print the variables into the console. So first it will print these three things, and then I was assigned two strings to these two variables. So after that I am printing these two variables, so it will print these two things, okay. So I will do Control S, so it will save our script file. Then I will go to our console. Again I will run it, Python primitive underscore data types dot py. You can press the upper arrow key for getting the last command, okay. So you can see here we have our first number, second float, third float, fourth we have a string I am a student, and in fifth we have another string which is my age 27, and we can see we have covered three of the strings, okay. As you can see we have covered three of our data types here, primitive data types, okay. And these two data types will be covered in the next video, but before summing up, I want to show you some functions but before summing up I want to show you some functions to perform on this data types, okay. So if I go here, so you will see we can see its type, that what type it contains, okay. And we can also do some calculations on it, like if I remove these things here, okay, and if I do f3 equals to, so I am assigning f3, okay, and then I am doing calculation f1 then plus f2, okay. So what it is doing, it is doing a sum of f1 and f2 and then assigning the results to f3, okay, which is another variable. And what I will do now, I will print f3. So I think you guessed it right, it will print the summation of these two variables, okay. I will save it, return back here, print the script, run the script again, and you will see that this is the sum of these two float variables, okay. Then we can also print the values directly into our print function, okay. So if I do print, and if I assign a number here 768, okay, and if I save it, then it will directly print the 768 into the console, okay. If I run the script, then you can see it is running it, okay. And next thing is we can also do direct calculations on the print statement, okay. So we can do 4 minus 2, okay. I will save it and run it again, then you can see 2, 4 minus 2 equals 2, okay. The next thing is we can directly print the strings into the print statement. My age is 27, if I save it, okay, and if I run the script again, you can see it is printing the string here, okay. Like we have done the calculations with our integers, we can also do the concatenation of these strings, okay. So for doing the concatenation there are several methods, but for now we will learn these things in detail in our next lectures, which will include the concatenation of our strings, okay, the calculations, and the conditional statements. Okay, so for doing the concatenation of this string, what we will do, we will type a plus sign and we will assign a new string here. Okay, and okay, so what is happening here, there are two strings and I am concatenating these two strings, okay, into one string. Okay, if I save it and run it here, then you will see my age is 27, I am a programmer. We can also do it into a variable v equals to, and I will cut it from here, paste it here. So you will see there are two strings, okay, and we are merging this into one variable which is b. And if I print b, okay, and here if I run the script, then you can see there are two strings. Okay, you can also assign one string into a variable and second string into a second variable and do concatenation like this. Okay, so it will be into a third variable. Okay, so there are lots of possibilities, you can play around it. Okay, and there are also lots of functions to perform on this three data type. I will show you some other functions and its type checking into next videos. Okay, so that's it for now. Okay, if you want more lectures on it and have some special requests, then you can let me know in the comment section. Okay, that's it for now. Thank you.